So, dear Dhamma friends, be comfortable yourself and relax your body. So, gently close your eyes and focus your mind to this bell sound. While you focusing to sound, mentally relax your body, relax your mind, and relax your breathing with your thoughts. Just let everything to settle down as it is and follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully enlightened One. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, today in this meditation session, we mainly going to practice first part of the meditation. We're going to practice tranquility meditation, and then we use the same technique to vipassana. So, tranquility meditation means calming down and allowing your mind to settle down and keep your mind in one point. And also allow your thoughts to be with the moment without jumping here and there. And vipassana means deeply with that calm, with that tranquil mind, deeply, thoroughly observe, recognize, analyze things as it is and how things come to be as they are. So what are the things here we take? Our feelings, sensations, formations, or the recognitions. So in Vipassana level, those are the things that we have to be aware. So in the beginning, to tranquilize our mind, we take a mental object. And before we go to mental object, first we have to understand why we have to practice meditation and what is this mind. So the mind itself means knowing, recognizing, feeling, grasping, holding. So that is the very meaning of the mind. That is the very behavior and nature of the mind. So mind has nature of knowing. That knowing doesn't mean you read a book and know something. That this knowing is completely different. Without any guidance or without any the previous information, there is a capacity in your mind to recognize something. So, but mostly in day-to-day life, if you look very carefully, it is very rare we use our mind like that way. Why? Because we used to have a pattern, we develop a lifestyle, always follow the information, follow the information. So then what happened, that the your true nature of your mind not going to work. Why? Because it doesn't have any space. It doesn't get any moment to activate itself, because we always go with something, go with something, go with something. So because of that, what happened later, the mind itself start to get used to follow the information. But when it comes to meditation, it is not just following information. You slowly start to go back to the true nature of your mind. What is that? It has power to recognize. It has power to understand. It has power to analyze without someone else's guidance or the information. Even when it comes to teaching meditation or anything, whatever you learn, mostly, only 1% out of 5 you can learn through this way. Other all the 4 things that you have to acquire yourself by practicing yourself, experiencing yourself. Only 1% in life. Mostly we gain through information. Even if that also doesn't going to resonate with us. Most information come and go. So when it comes to mind, the meditation is an art or pattern or method. You slowly detach from information and you detach from the knowledge and you go back to its original form and allow it to be like that. So that is where the true recognition going to happen. That recognition is the real understanding. It is not if I say something, okay, this is like this, and you take it and you start to follow it, but it is not real understanding. So then in practicing meditation mean you deeply exercise your mind. So then remember to detach from the information mostly that we carry. So in the tranquility meditation, in the beginning, we settle down the mind without going here and there or without following many information or perception. How we can do that? In the beginning, just we bring a mental object. So that is our inhalation, exhalation. So that inhalation, exhalation is not belong to any kind of information. And it is not belong to any kind of teachings. It is not belong to any kind of religion or the hierarchy that you have to initiate from somebody. It is the true nature of your life. So that you take as your primary mental object and observe the inhalation, exhalation without controlling it or without maintaining or doing kind of like exercise. So as you know, there are many breathing meditation techniques that try to control the breathing. And even sometimes there are people try to stop the heartbeat. So what's the point that you just control the breathing? What you gain out of it? What's the point you just control the whole the heart? What you gain out of it? Nothing. Just only thing is we developing our egocentric life, self-centered mind. Even doing miracles, what you gain finally? Nothing. So that's why you have to, in the beginning, be very clear with the practice, what you really want. So we just trying to settle down in the beginning our mind, and we invest that tranquility mind to vipassana practice. That is our purpose. So then when it comes to tranquility meditation, the posture is important. Ujungkayang panidaya parimukang sating upattapita. Why it posture is important for this meditation technique? Because we develop the mind. So when it comes to mind, if you look very carefully, there is in the sutras, it says Ujungkayang panidaya. That means you have to keep your that upper body straight. Back, your neck, head straight in one line. And then it says parimukang sating upattamita. Parimukha means in front. You have to be mindful and focused to in front. And then observe the inhalation, exhalation. So that means when it comes to mind, when you focus to something, when you observe something, it's kind of like you have a feeling. You observe from inside, and this mind, it's this, it start from kind of like a head. So like when you observe your inhalation, exhalation in front of your nose and your upper lip area, it kind of like from inside your head, you look forward. And then as example, when you close your eyes and observe and focus downward, you don't feel kind of like you observing from the bottom of your foot. When you observe, even when you close your eyes, when you mentally observe your body, this mostly you observe even downward from your shoulders or the neck. And when you observe upward, you don't feel kind of like you observing from the bottom of your feet. You observe from the above the head. When you look right, when while you closing your eyes, when you look right or focus to left, and so you feel it's kind of like you start from the head. So that's mean it's just when you practice, you get the feeling. So that's mean the posture of the head is very important. Why? Because with this brain, even though mind is all over our body, it's kind of like a look that we have wiring system around the house, but there is a main switch. So if you shut down the main switch, that doesn't mean This everything we destroy, but it doesn't work. But that doesn't mean it really that deactivate. There is a kind of like a connection. Only thing is once the main switch on, this everything going to work. So like that, the brain, in according to the nerve system, the behavior of the brain is very important. Even you can live without a hand, you can live without a leg, you can live without the one kidney, and even transplant something. There are many other organs that people transplant inside the body, but you cannot live without a head. There are some people kind of like they live like that, but that what I mean, physically you cannot. So what that mean, this thinking pattern is is a kind of like a main center in our head. So then the why I told that, because the posture. So then if you neglect the posture, then your inside system and going to change, because we going to go with the inhalation exhalation, and we follow the sensation, and our completely this our physical this nerve system should be worked properly. Remember, when it come to vipassana level, your head to toes, your entire body should activate and communicate each other properly and clearly, and 100% your entire body start to work. When it come to tranquility level, samadhi, it happen, it get connect. Your body, your mind, your breathing start to work as one. So that's why the posture is important. So then remember that when you keep focus to front, so that's mean you have to have the right posture, because mostly sometimes we neglect it. And because of that, maybe you 10 years practice meditation, 20 years practice meditation, you just in your head, you kind of like the thinking, and you caught up with your thinking and you go with thoughts, but you don't get a real result. Why? Because of the posture. So that's why it is very important. So when it comes to tranquility meditation, so remember that and practice it. Do some experiment yourself and give some times, and get into the right posture. Once you have it, you know how it work inside you. And so once you focused in front of your nose and your upper lip area, another thing is, don't manipulate the natural process of inhalation exhalation. Don't interfere with it. Don't think and maintain inhalation exhalation. Just allow it to happen itself naturally. Don't think I inhale, I exhale, like that. Just allow it to happen, and when it happens, through the sensation, recognize this is inhalation, this is exhalation. And then follow the entire continuation of your inhalation, exhalation. This is the beginning, this is the middle, this is the end. And follow the entire continuation, or observe the whole breath body. So the breath body means one inhalation or exhalation from beginning to end. Also, you may experience some inhalation, exhalation become longer, shorter, heavy, soft, warm, cold, like that. And from there, we go to To observe three marks of the existence: impermanent, anitya, and unsatisfactory nature, dukkha, and the anatma, selflessness. Regarding what? Regarding our feelings. So, when you observe the inhalation, exhalation, now you become familiar with the sensation or the feelings. So, stay with it and see how the feelings arise and change. And sometimes your whole body feel as one, and observe it and recognize how breath by breath this change. And moment by moment, it it go away. Whatever you feel, it never going to settle down there. And always deeply, this keep chasing it, chasing it, chasing it. Unsatisfactory nature. And the selflessness within that feelings, or the recognizing, or with the recognizer, with the object or the subject. There is no self, different entity doing this or maintaining this or govern this. So when you observe that way, be a part of the process. Don't be separate. Be a part of the process without interfering to it, without judging it. You have to keep the free mind, and without bound to any technique or anything. You have to 100% become fearless and become free, independent, and observe your feelings. And then you will see that moment by moment, that what you experience and how it is happening and what it is. So that your self experience will lead you to wisdom. So let's practice a little bit. Your right palm on your left, and neck head straight in one line, and be comfortable with your posture. And bring attention to your body and scan head to toes 3 times yourself and say Sopatveva, or may I be well and happy 3 times. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment, with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable, may my breath be more smooth. May all the success come to me. Also think for a moment, this is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime, and detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalation, exhalation, and later observe impermanent, unsatisfactory nature and selflessness within inhalation, exhalation, or any sensation. Bring attention in front of your nose and your upper lip area. Deeply and gently, breathe out 3 times. And find the sensation, please. and allow your inhalation exhalation to happen itself. And recognize this is inhalation, this is exhalation. Keep your mind focused to inhalation, exhalation. Follow the entire continuation of the inhalation and exhalation. Also, you may experience some inhalation, exhalation become longer, shorter, heavy, soft, warm, cold. Just recognize it. Recognize the feelings or the sensation and see impermanent, unsatisfactory nature and selflessness within all the five aggregates: form, feeling, sensation, formations, and recognition. Bring your attention to your body. And observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe. Also, as far as you can, through galaxies, other planets, stars. Reminding yourself like this. So, with clear intention, mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe, and may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart. Visualize yourself and send it as a light forward to your backside, to your left side, and to your right side. Downward and upward. To all six directions at once, like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it with the maximum effort to highest. Wishing yourself may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, when it comes to practice meditation, that mainly we know that we try to understand deeper inside us. And one of the greater the difficulties is about the self, because the self invisible, and the self is the spirit of your body and mind. It is not separate from something. The self itself, form, feeling, sensation, formation, recognition, this everything come together. This process is self. But it always hide. That's why you can see the feeling. When you see one by one, you can see some informations. But to recognize this everything as one and how this process happening is very difficult. It's a kind of self is kind of like a terrorist leader. Thoughts everywhere, like there are followers everywhere, but the leader you can't find. It's like an underworld leader. There are people ready to do a lot of things for him, behalf of him. Self is like a corrupted politician. Why? Because they do things you cannot find evidence. They steal money, they kill people, they do a lot of things. But you can't find evidence. They don't keep any evidence. They destroy all the evidence. Self also like that. So the self is always don't keep any evidence. It's a very smart to hide. And other way, self is like a black cardinal. The idea of black cardinal. He is not come forward at any time, but he giving all the advice and everything, and how to do, what to do. It's a kind of like a religious leader, but no one knows who is that person. Self also like that. See, we do everything. We maintain our life for self. But still, when it comes to who is this self, you have no idea. So, one way, your name is yourself. See, that whatever the name you carry, even that name given by somebody else, even you don't know who is that. So nowadays, that's when the baby born, and sometimes parent ask, oh, can you give us a good name? Or maybe they call to somebody, or they go online, babies names they check, and then they find, oh, this sound good. They go mostly in the ancient time, they used to go with the meaning. Why? Because when you saying it again and again, again and again, your name is kind of like a powerful mantra. You know? But now they go with they don't know sometimes the meaning, they go with that. So they pick whatever the name. So name is kind of like a self. Another thing is the form is self. So itself like the picture. So that's why when you take a picture and when you look, what you look your your place, your posture, your body. Another thing is the feeling we take as self. And the thoughts you take as self. And other thing is the consciousness you take as self. Even when it comes to this consciousness, that this consciousness that that the consciousness and there is a subconsciousness. And then in the deeper, this consciousness, even beyond that, this consciousness has a very collective memory from long time from the history. And there is no name for that kind of consciousness if you categorize it. So then you are deeper than you think when it comes to consciousness. So this invisible self, time to time, become powerful. One is emotions. Remember that. Look yourself. Sit and look, kind of like investigate, analyze yourself without judging. When when the feelings come, when the emotions arise, when the feelings come, when the thought arise, why you react to it, from where this come, how it govern, when a thought come, how that thought govern to fulfill a action. So you have to have a very sharp and clear mind. See how that like a gangster or underworld leader, how the government try to catch them. It's not easy, but still there is a possibility to catch. And the terrorist leader, it take years. It's not overnight you can get that. No, you cannot do that. So It takes years, but still you can catch it. The same thing with the self. It doesn't matter, it may take years, but still you can understand this. That is the good thing with this. Even though it is invisible, if you start to look, you're going to find it. But it takes time. But the thing is this, rather than looking about it, and if you start to behave according to that, you're not going to find it. So mostly in day-to-day life, rather than looking who is this self, what is this self, what is the nature of it, what we does, we try to just maintain it. So then how we can find it? So then what we can do to find the self? So to find the self, the very important thing, we have to be empty. Physically, mentally, we have to be empty. So when it come to be empty, then suddenly it come to kind of like a material emptiness. It's nothing to do with material. Why? Because when it come to vipassana, the main purpose is self-realization. That real self-realization that we call in another inside meditation, it is about form, feeling, sensation, formation, recognition. It's nothing to do with the outside world. So it is about you. Even you live in the middle of the palace, but still you are possible to understand this. But even maybe you are living in the middle of the desert and without anything, even without any garment on your body. But still, that doesn't mean you can understand this. As you know from the history to still, there are a lot of yogis, ascetics, practice that path and try to 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 understand giving up this everything. But Buddha came in a different way. And sometimes on this journey, so the very first thing that you have to do to recognize this deeper inside emptiness, how you can make empty yourself without having any material. Mentally you can hold into everything, and also having this everything around you, mentally you can be empty. So that is the path you have to develop yourself. Even though you have everything this outside world, just let that things to be there as it is. Don't grasp, because the very nature of the mind is kind of like a velcro, holding, grasping. It's like glue. So then yourself always remember to make it empty. So one thing and make it empty. So how you can do it? The very first thing that you have to have a intention to be empty inside your mind. So once you have it, little by little, when you start to look into it, and you will find a way. Because without having that intention in you, how you going to get it? So then remember, the the very first step to catch the self, or the recognize the self, and learn to be empty within your mind. Another thing is, slow down. Don't be so busy. Learn to be slow down. When you slow down, slow down, slow down, physically, whatever the actions you do, don't be hurry. Slow down. Another thing is, don't walk too much. Don't walk too much. If you walk too much as a habit, it's very difficult for you to mentally to settle down. That's why this dancing, singing, this kind of things, slowly you cut down when you go in this path. Dancing, you moving your body, you always moving, and you like to get into rhythm, and it make you high, feel high. So if you start to get into that, how about like this, how you going to sit and allow everything to settle down? Because your body like to dance, move. So that's why, so remember, the walking also the same, don't walk too much. So the physically start to practice that. Mentally start to release everything from your mind every day. Just imagine, close your eyes. Imagine like it is a technique. Imagine like you are in the mother's womb. Because there is a muscle memory in you. Deeper in your mind, there is. So that's why time to time we try to achieve to that feeling. Just imagine yourself, just think yourself, you are like in the mother's womb. Close your eyes, and it will help you get into total emptiness in your mind. And people achieve to that. So there are some power, and the winning, and the sex, and the high mental powers like attaining to dhyana. This all similar to same thing like you are in the mother's womb. There's the same feeling. When you winning in that very moment, in your mind, what you feel is the same feeling like you are in the mother's womb. How it is possible? Because as you know that with the many sperms, you had a huge race, and you are a winner there. That's why you get into the mother's womb. See that you have that. That's why people like to win. And the power, and the power, people like to achieve to it, and always gaining it. The same thing. You strong, otherwise you cannot get into the mother's womb. So that's the memory you repeating every day. When it comes to boxing, see, that's the two people fighting each other, and finally what? It doesn't make any sense. But they like to win. Everywhere people like to win. Even that in day-to-day life, this deeper nature hold us. It's kind of like everywhere you see, everybody like to win. Why? Because that is the deeper, the hide, the consciousness play this role. Why? Because our life begin with this all. And the sex, that's the same thing. That's why our life start like that way there. So it is the beginning point. So that's why again and again people like to go into it. Another thing is the attaining to dhyana. Attaining to dhyana also giving the same feeling like you are in the mother's womb. That's why people are addicted to meditation. But the vipassana is completely out of this all. So your vipassana is it's not attaining to dhyana. You go beyond the dhyana. This vipassana is nothing to do with the the deeper this meditation practice. Tranquility meditation we do as a foundation to get into that. But then beyond that, we observe and recognize this entire the behavior. So that's a different, completely different way. That's why I look at the Buddha during the Buddha's time. How many ascetics, they had the many methods. See, finally what happened, and get out of it all. So, so the emptiness, real emptiness, you can achieve even mentally. You able to get into deeply when you observe and recognize yourself, and deeply when you are concentrate yourself and detach from everything, you get the feeling that whatever the same feeling that you had in the mother's womb. So when you able to achieve to it consciously, and you recognize the behavior of the self, so becoming empty is a kind of like a method, and detach from things. That's why when you come to vipassana level, you don't go to sex, or you don't marry, you detach. Why? Because then you're not going to empower that way your mind, because then what will happen, you start to 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 not to ignite that nature, then your mind start to go a different way. And then other thing is, you're not going to winning, or you're not going to power. So you get out of, as you know, there are a lot of kings, when they start to get into the dharma, they get out of entire kingdom. How it is possible? How that you reach to the highest, and you believing this everything, and what is that person take out of without pushing anybody, or doing and mesmerizing or brainwashing? That person himself decide to get out of it. This is enough for me. I don't want this. What is that? From where that come? Another thing is dhyana. Dhyana also attaining to high mental powers, absorptions. Also, this is it's nothing a big thing. That it's also kind of like mesmerizing the mind. There are people different ways to do that, and sometimes eons by eons you caught up with the kind of like existence. You cannot get out of it. Even you don't know there is existence. So that's why a becoming empty means try to, at least for a few minutes, get out of this kind of mentality. Don't empower your sexual power. Mostly in day-to-day life, look, whatever we watch every day, even selling a tire, next to a tire, half naked woman. That's mean what? They selling ideology of the sex. Even selling a cookie. and you are watching advertisement, even a song, now there are most of the song have the background dancing. So when you look for freedom, when you're through nature to get into that, these are hindrance, but we don't see this. So then in day-to-day life, because that is life, nothing wrong with it. That is life. We have to go with. But at the same time, when you look for the true freedom, it come to your choice. That's the important thing. So when it comes to choice, you are the master. So then you have to, why you get that choice? Ask yourself. If there is a reason, go for it. You will enjoy it. Winning. If there is a reason for you, go for it. And the power. If there is a reason, go for it. And even the meditation, different meditation techniques, people practice. Look yourself and ask yourself why you want it. Where are you going to end with this? If it is your choice, go for it. Why? Because always heaven after the hell. That's the nature. Heaven is always after the hell. So just look at, when you look during the Buddha's time, most of the people attain to enlightenment very easily when they go through the hell of this life. They understood everything and understand themselves. This is nothing. This is done. Then you attain to it. Why? Because it is our choice. We go, we don't let go this. Why? Because this self behind holding us play with it. And so like that, sometimes in life, we go with this everything. But finally, you will get into that. So we start with the emptiness. So those are these things, this emptiness really is related. You can imagine when just closing your eyes, just imagine you are in the mother's womb. And you get into something. You get into that. And be careful in that very moment not to disturb with any kind of thoughts related to the sex or the power or the winning nature or the dhyana. Without that anything, if you able to get into that, you will recognize it is like this. As example, it's a psychological example how you become empty. So you have the thread and the needle, and there are few peoples. One person have the empty hand, and other person have just the gloves. Nowadays we use the gloves, and another person have the baseball gloves, and another person have the cricket gloves, and another person have the boxing gloves. And this each person try to put this thread to the needle head. The empty hand person is take very less time than any other person. So when you become empty, you are able to reach to the maximum. That is, listen this that very carefully. And so when you become empty, you able to reach to the maximum. So the vipassana is a method that the mentally you become completely empty. That emptiness with the awareness, and that emptiness with the awareness will allow you to see clearly. With that clarity, whatever you see, It allows you to recognize very clearly as it is how things come to be as they are. So that is a process. But in day-to-day life, learn to be empty. That emptiness is a very important. It is not physically, the mental emptiness. It is there. So only thing is just try to tap into it. In day-to-day life, we dealing with other things as I mentioned, but you miss that the emptiness. So it is there that reach to that and try to get into that moment by moment, moment by moment. If you able to pinch that point in your deeper muscle memory, subconscious mind, deeper beyond even the subconscious mind, and that memory that you had the moment that you are live in the mother's womb, it is more than 9 months you had there. Just close your eyes and see, can you get into that? Give a try. So with that, I bless upon everyone with this good practice. May all of you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you, may no difficulties come to you, may no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding, and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. During this time period, may everyone stay healthy and safe. And finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbityo vajjantu sabbarogo vinassatu mate bhavatantarayo sukhi digayuko bhava. Ittavata cha ammi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Idamme punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless you.